with Myth 2.0, the podcast. And always remember, gentlemen, it's a motherfucking movie. So, in today's video, we're going to be discussing how a lot of American black men will end up poor and homeless in the next 5 to 20 years. So, it's a very controversial topic. Um, a lot of people woke up this morning without $25 in the bank. A lot of black men woke up this morning with $500 in the bank. So, but at the end of the day, these two people still ended up in the same exact predicament as each other. You know, one graduated high school, one didn't graduate high school. Um, one had a job, the other one hustled in the streets. You know, but at the end of the day, both of these guys still ended up in the same predicament as one another. Even though Charles decided to drop out of school, sell drugs, rob people, and you had Philip. Philip decided to graduate school, go get a job, and now it's 20 years later after both of these men went to the same high school. Both of these men went to the thanks Dark Force 73. Both of these men went to the same high school, and still one graduated, had a little college, decided to work. One dropped out, started to sell drugs, etc. But they both ended up in the same predicament 20 years later. And this is the harsh reality that a lot of us will face. Um, a lot of people never been homeless before. A lot of us have been poor before, but a lot of us think we're not poor because we buy things. We buy things to mask the fact that most of us are poor. You know, so I think that I was kind of lucky because I was homeless on and off for um almost the whole decade, almost a whole 10 years, like off and on. And I changed my life around. I changed the way I thought. I changed the way I perceive things. I started teaching myself about managing money. I started teaching myself about credit. I started teaching myself about real estate. Started teaching myself about different type of businesses and stuff like that. But a lot of people, since they haven't been to this point in their lives, a lot of people get into the point of being extremely poor and poverty. And they sleep outside and they get comfortable. Now, don't let me tell you how many young people I done ran across when I was in the streets of Atlanta sleeping outside. Don't tell me how many young people I done ran across when I went to Houston and I slept outside. Even though I had a plan when I started moving around like that. And don't let me tell you how many homeless people I seen when I went to Florida and I was sleeping outside. I started soaking in information. Let me say it again. I started me being homeless and not wanting to work. I didn't want to work at first. I didn't want to do nothing. I wanted to do it on my own. And I started soaking in information like why is this not working? Why is that not working? And I would run across people in the same position that I'm in, lots and lots. So I don't understand why, like when I make videos, black people be saying, "Oh, black people do work." I understand black people do work, but there's a large number of black people who are extremely in poverty, and a lot of black people who are working are still in poverty. And they're borderline. One check away from being homeless is real. Like, and then I would hear people's stories, you know, and when you talk to people when you're poor and you're homeless, people actually are telling you the real. They ain't faking or nothing. A lot of these guys and girls, they have no goals. Didn't most of them, a lot of them was young. You had a lot that was underage who was out there with their parents. Then you had a lot of them who was 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, black men, black women who was out there homeless. And when you listen to them talk, like nobody gave them information on how to be a successful citizen in America. How the American dream is not just a dream for white people, it's a dream for all of us. And how easy it is to achieve the American dream. You know, most of our parents, when they was young, like I'm in my mid 30s, you know, most of our parents when they was young, they didn't do too much to impact or to impact our future. So now, since they raised us in poverty, we have to figure this stuff out on our own, like I had to do. You know, um, and a lot of us hear the right knowledge. Like, I'm not saying that I didn't have both of my parents. Like, okay, so my dad was in the military. You know, my dad was in the military for like 20 some years, and he retired as a senior chief. But my mom, they separated. My mom kept me in Memphis. Then I would go back and forth with my dad and my mom. I had the hood side from my mom because of the situation I was in. You know what I'm saying? Being poor. So most of my life I was with my mom, but my dad had a different way of looking at things. He was looking at things as working, prosperity, staying away from bad people, credit, how to build stuff, how to stay away from this place, that place. And what happens is that shit rolls through our ears. You know what I'm saying? And with John and Philip, even though one dropped out of school and the other didn't drop out of school, these both of these guys ended up in the same position and 20 years down the road. You know, um, a lot of black men will end up poor. A lot of black men in this country are already poor. A lot of black men in this country will end up homeless if you don't take heed, bruh. You know, a lot of guys. Why else is these young guys out here pulling robberies? Why else is these young guys out here going in the store stealing? Why else do in California? Don't matter what state you go to. You think niggas in Cali got it better? Why you think niggas in Cali going into Gucci and going into the stores snatching and running?